साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ 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 साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्।
Dear devotees, you are about to embark on the greatest journey of your life, a journey to the core of your inner being. Please, all in a low voice, follow the Omkar and let your mind reach a quietude of silence. All together, let us repeat the pranava. Please sit up straight, and in the quietness of your mind, hear the sound of your breathing. Breathe in and out. In, out. Now, open your eyes and see the light in front of you. This is the light of a candle. Gaze intently at the light. Now, feel the light shining in the center of your forehead. Now half close your eyes and feel the light in the center of your forehead. Now, let that light come down your neck to the center of your chest. Imagine a flower, a lotus, opening petal by petal to receive the light. Now the light is resting on the lotus. The lotus disappears, only the light remains. But it is no more the light of the candle. It is a round ball of formless light. It is a light of divinity within you. Feel this light now expand, and feel the light going down your body, into your legs, up to your feet. Feel warmth as the light surges through your limbs. And make this mental vow, O Lord, my legs, touched by the light of your divinity, will always take me only to places of goodness. Feel the light surging upwards, up into your chest, around your shoulders, and down into your arms and fingers. Feel the warmth as this light surges through you. Make this mental vow, O Lord, my arms, touched by the light of your divinity, will only yearn to do what is good. Now feel the light surging upwards into your neck and into your face, into your head, and the light now shines in your eyes. Make a vow. My eyes must yearn to see only what is good. Feel the light now shining in your ears. My ears must yearn to hear only what is good. Feel the light now shining on your lips. My lips must yearn to only speak what is good. Now, feel this light now shining into your whole body. The light illumines the body. In your mind, repeat the words, the light is in me. Now feel the light expand. Expand, and you are now sitting in a ball of light, in a cone of formless light. Let your mind say, the light is within me, I am in the light. Feel a thrill of this light, and now feel this light expanding and filling this entire room with a divine glow. And let this light now go beyond this room, beyond and beyond, spreading ever further to this whole country, and beyond this country, beyond oceans and beyond nations. Let this light flow ever outwards to encompass the whole world. Now, imagine yourself, not your physical body, but an inner being within you, like a gigantic divine form, sitting on the globe, and the light of your divinity, the light of your love, encompassing the whole world. Stay for a moment, thrilled in that thought. Now, bring into your mind's eye and send your light of love to all the creatures of the world, all the animals and insects, creatures that fly or crawl, all of them are God's creatures. Send your light of love now to those whom you dislike or whom you think dislike you. Send your love, send your light of love to them. The same Atma in you is also in them. Let them feel the radiance of your light. Let them feel the radiance of your love. Now, into your mind's eye, bring those you love, your spouse, children, relations, friends, whoever. Bathe them with the divine glow of your love. Feel oneness with the whole world. Feel at peace with yourself. And now, look inside you. Can you imagine? Do you see a ball of light within you? In this ball of light, bring in the form of the Ishtadeva, the divine being that you love and worship. See this form smiling within you. See this divine form raise his hands in blessing. You have shared your love with the world. Now, receive the blessing and darshan of the divine within. Stay for a moment, thrilled in this thought that you and he are one.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Eka Omkar Satnam Karta Purana Nirbhau Nirvair Akal Murat Ajuni Sairam Guru Prasad Jap Aad Sach Jugaad Sach Hai bhi Sach Nanak hosi bhi Sach.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah, hayya ala falah, hayya ala falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Gananam Tva Ganapatikum Havamahe Karim Karinam Upamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspatamanam Shrimannodivisedasadanam Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Deenamavitrayavatu Ganeshaya Namaha Saraswatyai Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Namaste Rudramanyava Utota Ishave Namaha. शिवाशरव्याया तवतया नो रुद्रमृडया या ते रुद्रशिवा तनूरघोरा पापकाशिनी तया नस्तनुभाषन्तमया गिरिशन्ताभिजाकशीः यामिषुं गिरिशन्तहस्ते विपर्शस्तवे शिवां गिरित्रतां पुरुमाहिपुंसि पुरुषं जगत शिवेन वचसा त्वा गिरिशाचावदामसि यथा नः सर्वमिज्जगतलक्ष्मकुं सुमना असत अद्य वोचतति भक्ता प्रथमो दैव्योऽभिषक अहीकुष्य सर्वान् जन्मयन् सर्वाश्च यातु धान्यः असौ यस्ताम्रो अरुण उत भद्रुः सुमङ्गलः ये चेमागुं रुद्रा अवितो दिक्षु श्रिता सहस्रशो विश्वागुं हेरयीमहे असौ यो वसर्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उदैनं गोपादृशन्वदृशन्नुदहार्यः उदैनं विश्वा भूतानि सकृष्णो मृडयातिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीरुषे अतो ये अस्य सत्त्वानोऽहं तेभ्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्चदन्वनस्त्वमुभयोरात्मियोजां याश्च ते हस्त इषवः पराता भगवोऽप अवदत्य गतुस्वगुं सहस्राक्षशतेषु ते निशील्य शल्यानां मुखा शिवो नः सुमना भव विच्छन्दनुप्रपर्तिनो विशल्यो बाणवागुं कुता अनेशन्नस्येषव आपुरस्य निशङ्कतिः या ते हेतिर्मीरुष्टमहस्ते बभूव ते धनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुजा नमस्ते अस्वायुधाय नाथताय कृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुदते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् गृणक्तु विश्वतः अतो यदि श्रुतिस्तवारे अस्मन्निदेहितम् नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्रयम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
विघ्नविनाशक देवादिदेवा आदि सनातन Dev जननी माँ साई जननी प्रशांति वाहिनी चिर सुखदायिनी प्रशांति वाहिनी चिर सुखदायिनी जय जय साई जय जय साई जननी माँ
चिर सुखदायिनी साई जननी चिर सुखदायिनी साई जननी राज राजेश्वरी जगन्मोहिनी राज राजेश्वरी जगदम्बे मंगलहारिणी साई राज साईश्वराय नमो साईश्वराय नमो साईश्वराय नमो साईश्वराय नमो ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो शिवाय शिवाय नमो ओम नमः 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 शिवाय शिवाय नमो कालनिताय सिद्धिरूपाय योगीश्वराय जगद्विदाय विश्वरूपाय साईश्वराय नमो साईश्वराय नमो ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय 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 नमो कालतीताय सिद्धिरूपाय योगेश्वराय नमो
भस्म विभूषित भवानी शंकर भस्म विभूषित भवानी शंकर भवभयनाशा भोला शंकर भवभयनाशा भोला शंकर हर हर शंकर शांति
Surrender should be there. If you surrender, God can interfere into your life. He told us that he heard a voice. This is the last time you're seeing her. If I close my eyes, I can see Swami. She didn't finish that sentence. Interview. We have good experiences and bad experience, good things and bad things. If somebody told you, what do you think of an accident? It's a bad experience. But when Swami comes into it, bad can become good. Bad can become so good that it becomes like a blessing, and you actually remember it again and again and again. While in ordinary circumstances, something which is very hurtful, you'll avoid it. You'll bottle it. You will not face it. But with Swami, the worst of experiences can become an occasion of his love. My parents had this experience, and which impacted all our lives. This is a rather long story, so I beg your patience. I'll start where it all started. When I was a little girl, I used to get dreams. And in my dreams, I used to dream that I'm orphaned. Me and my sister, we don't have parents. And our mother's side of relatives and father's side of relatives are saying, we will take care of the children, we will take care of the children. Something like this is going on. And I put it down to seeing too many movies and reading too many books, because there was no meaning in this dream. And then what happened was, one day my mother got a dream. She dreamt that that time Swami was in Vrindavan. And she suddenly saw him in her dream, and she said, oh, Swami, you're back. And Swami said, no, I had gone to Anantapur. Those girls were not letting me come back, what to do and all that. And suddenly she noticed he had these huge patches on his head, with no hair on that. So she said, Swami, what happened to you? Then he said, see, and he showed those two places where there's no hair. And then he said, my mother said, you have such beautiful hair, Swami, you can cover it up. And, they had this conversation about hair. And this sounds very strange, but why I want to tell you this is because it has relevance to what happened later. This was our dreams. And then, in the darshan ground, Swami would suddenly call my father and say, Rao, are you ready? So, yes, Swami. Good. Always be ready. And then he told them, suddenly one day he called him and he started telling him the story of Prahlada, and then the story of, Mirabai, so many devotional stories. And then he said, surrender should be there. If you surrender, God can interfere into your life. You must surrender. So continuously he would give these messages. We never knew this was going somewhere. Then, on February 9th, he called them. This was the year 1989. Swami called them for an interview, my mother, my father, that picture which I showed you earlier. And my sister was in school, so she came for that interview. And Swami blessed my mother, Dirgha Sumangali Bhava. He gave her a mango yellow sari, blessed her profusely. I think that was the day he decided to interfere into their lives. Later, people told us that Swami had already told some of the officials, start looking for somebody else. Rao won't be there. They were wondering what it meant. How can he not be there? He is very much there. But there was definitely something written for them. Then came the day on which this happened. Even that had some precursor. The day, a few days before that, every time Swami was in Vrindavan, Prashanti Nilayam would be going up and down. Early morning, 3 o'clock, vans will be taken and people would go to Vrindavan. 7 o'clock, Swami would give darshan. After darshan, everybody would return. So this was a regular thing. And one time before this before March, when my parents had gone to Vrindavan, suddenly Swami told all Parthi people have to go back early. And he quickly took Aarti and literally pushed all of them out early. You should go early, you should not travel late night and early morning. All this, nobody took it more than that. It seems the night before they were to leave the next day, people would come and give letters to whoever is going. So Bhagya sir was there, who's our neighbor. He came to give a letter to my parents. He knocked at our door. My mother opened the door. He gave the letter. And when he was giving the letter, he suddenly stared at her for some time. She said, "What happened, sir?" He smiled, he gave it. Later he told us that he heard a voice. "This is the last time you're seeing her." So he felt a tinge of thing. We had Kuppu Swamis, another professor, who used to live opposite us. That night, he got a dream that he was carrying dead bodies. So he came and told his wife, "I dreamt this." She said, "I'm also coming with you to Parthi tomorrow." So the next morning, about 3 van load of all the teachers and students left for Parthi, Vrindavan. They had reached Chikbalapur. They stopped there for a cup of tea. And the particular van in which my parents were traveling, that guy was driving like Ben-Hur. And they were telling him, "Go slow," and everything. The boys, 2 boys were there in the van. They were joking, "This rate we will reach Kailasha faster than Vrindavan." And they were joking. Then they got into the van and they crossed Chikbalapur. They were going further. I think they were closer to Bhagyapalli. I'm beyond Bhagyapalli, right? So when they were traveling, my mother closed her eyes and she saw Swami clearly, She was thrilled. She got up to see whether it's a dream or real. Again, she closed her eyes. She could see him that close. Then she told her neighbor, "You know something? If I close my eyes, I can see Swami." She didn't finish that sentence. This van was going at a high speed. There's a lorry coming from the opposite side. And this van driver wasn't giving way to the lorry. And the lorries, they don't believe, they are the kings of the road. So he wasn't budging either. The last minute, our van swerved. But in the swerve, the timing was wrong. So the lorry hit the back of the van. So in that speed, the van began to toss 3 times over and landed with its wheels above. My mother said that all the passengers, they were tossed in that. And those Matador vans had these chairs with the iron bars. So everybody got hurt in the bargain. She said when she first came to B, she saw the roof of the van was filled with a pool of blood because everybody inside got injured. She said, "I crawled out." She crawled out. And then she realized that her head was jagged by the metal chair. Exactly the same places where she saw in the dream of Swami's patches on his head. And the miraculous thing was she had absolutely no pain. So she was completely aware. She crawled out, sat down, began to push the blood off her face because she had streaming blood. So she was wiping her face to hold it and see what's happening. She was very much about. Now, a lot of people got injured in that thing. My father hit his eye, he broke his ribs and had an injury on his head. And because his eyes were hit, he couldn't see. So he was asking for where she is. She hit her jaw, so she couldn't speak. So she was telling him, "I'm here," but, that way. And 2 boys who didn't get much injury, they immediately started trying to help people to come out. And one of them later told me he brought water to pour on my mother, and he was so taken aback when he saw the amount of blood on her, and she was telling, chant Sai Ram to him. He really passed out when he saw that. In the meanwhile, the other van which was coming, that lorry driver, after he hit them, he went ahead, because he was going in the opposite direction. He saw the next van. He said, "Tumhare logon ko accident ho gaya hai, wahan jao." He informed them. That was the good thing he did. That vehicle came and then they picked people up, and Kuppuswamy sir was in that vehicle. He had dreamt that he'll pick up bodies. He literally did that, and they took them to Chikbalapur. In the meanwhile, Swami was told that this happened, and Swami immediately sent, there's one part of God, Swami, which saves people. There's another part of Swami which is all simultaneous. He's so human and concerned. And he's extremely practical. He got the doctors, the medical things necessary, the funds necessary, sent them, calls to the hospitals, everything like how it's usually done. So the doctors landed immediately. They began to look at each person, saw whose damage was to what extent, and decided who goes to the bigger hospitals. So my mother was brought, because she was completely, she could tell what happened. She was lucid. So there was no internal brain injury. That was a surface wound. So they brought her to Vrindavan. This happened 5:30 in the morning. By 11, they were there in Vrindavan. And Swami, 20 times he rang up. Have they come? Have they come? Have they come? Finally, as soon as they all landed, he came to the hospital. Mother was so messy with all this blood and thing, caked with all that. And, that's one thing very nice about the Sai family. They're so sensitive to small details. So immediately they were covered up completely except the face, so that the blood is not seen by Bhagawan. He knows, not that he doesn't know, but those are the decorums of doing things. And then Swami said, drink some water. You didn't eat anything. Will you drink little water? And she was like, because the whole mouth is lacerated and there's blood going down. So then he said, coffee. We'll give you coffee. And when she thought of hot coffee going down that throat, she wanted to say no. Behind Swami, one sir was standing, he said, take it. Why? Take it. Because when God pours something in your mouth, it's life. It's not coffee, it's not water. So Swami cooled the coffee and poured it in her mouth, and he told, don't worry, I'll take care of everything. And you won't believe it. We were in college and hostel, we were doing our exams. Swami arranged who will pick up whom, what time will land in Vrindavan. We got phone calls telling not to worry, he's taking care, write the exams properly. Day to day monitoring. After we came to Vrindavan, where we stay, what we eat, when we go for darshan, when we should go to hospital to see our parents, everything was monitored. The love of this God, what to say. Now this whole experience, it passed. And then we asked Swami why she didn't have pain. She had 120 stitches after that on her head. And Swami said, karma has to be gone through. But when devotion is there, then I can nullify the impact of karma. So you go through something without actually going through something. And what you go through becomes a joy just because it is associated with God.
जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।
I offer my most humble and loving pranams at the divine lotus feet of our most beloved Sadguru, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Respected elders, brothers, sisters and children, Om Sri Sai Ram and a very good morning to you all. It's so great to be back for Bhajans on Sunday mornings at Soul Valley. We've really missed coming to the centre and seeing our Sai family. So massive thank you to our dear Swami for making this possible. Now obviously we will continue with safety measures for the time being, because our ultimate goal for our centre is the safety of our devotees. So we'll continue with the face mask, wearing a face mask, sanitization for the time being, and we shall of course review this as we go along. If any devotees has any concerns on this matter, please feel free to speak to one of our Sevadels. Starting from today, I'm pleased to announce that the Bal Vikas and SSC classes have already started today. So a warm welcome to all the children, gurus and parents. What an auspicious day today. Last Tuesday we celebrated the grand festival of Mahashivratri, and those who attended will agree that it was an amazing program. Thanks to all those who participated, because I certainly enjoyed the event, great vibrations, and I'm sure that you all enjoyed the festival. The next committee meeting for our centre is on Tuesday at 7:30 via Zoom. Everyone is welcome. We do welcome new ideas, and it'll give you a chance to understand how the centre activities are conducted and operated. So we welcome new ideas, so please do come along and join us via Zoom. We're currently witnessing the most horrific war in Ukraine, where thousands of innocent individuals have lost their lives. Many more millions, women and children, have had to relocate to neighboring countries in utter chaos. As Sai devotees, we all understand the value of prayers from our heart. Therefore, at these difficult times, let us all join individually in our own homes to do our own sadhana and pray for the well-being of Ukraine and its people and those affected by the war. So I urge you to join in prayers individually by chanting 9 Gayatri mantras every day during the day, or 3 Samasta Loka, morning, afternoon and evening. Let us not underestimate the power of these prayers. As Swami says, we are all one. And therefore let us pray for our brothers and sisters and their families who are in great turmoil at the moment. We will now have the thought of the day from Anushka Pancholi, one of our Bal Vikas students. Thank you. Om Sri Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, the secret of perfect lies in keeping the mind always cheerful. Never worry, never hurry, never borne down by any fear. thought or anxiety. Sai Ram.
साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु। 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 समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु